there as political parties. We are there as members of parliament for the whole country. So why should we be segmented now? We are going to debate on political grounds. We want to be given chance. The people of Mwembeshi want to hear me debate on the issue of mining. I'm not going to allow Kasauta to debate on my behalf for Mwembeshi. So therefore, that one thing for each member to debate on one political grounds, can we remove that thing so that people are given a chance on the floor of the House to debate freely? Say that day we are going to take 10 people, 15 people, that is okay with us. Because what we want to do is to debate this budget for the benefit of our country. Thank you.
We shall take 4 more questions.
Presenter, for me, I want to take advantage or to take the opportunity that we have the whip, the chief whip here, and hopefully the clerk is still here. Even what honorable member for Mwembeshi has said is arising from that statement you kept on making, stating that these are your standing orders. Mr. Presenter, that book called the Standing Orders is not our book. It's your book as management at Parliament. We were not part of the formulation of the Standing Orders. That is where the problem is starting from. So until you go back and correct that notion you've created, that we created standing orders, we did not create those standing orders. You created them, and the problems that are arising are from that very illegal document that we are using and basing our activity even as we sit here. Me, I'm not part of that illegal document you are using.
Thank you very much, presenter. Yeah, mine is just a rider on Honorable Jamba and somehow Honorable Bino Mpundu. Coming to the debates, let me start with the debates of allowing just 4 members of parliament to debate from the political parties. Then it will mean, you know, the majority members of parliament are from UPND and PF. So it will mean the people will be debating, every head will come from the 3rd largest political party, which is PNU, and there is only 1 member. So it means that member will be debating every head. Then there are also independents and very few independents. It will mean that independents will always be debating. Then members of UPND and PF, they'll be 100% restricted. Only very few will be debating, which is not good. Now coming to the standing orders. Some I can request is that, you know, it's like all the honorable members of parliament, including ministers and backbenchers, they are not happy about these standing orders. The best we can do is, can we re-amend the standing orders as soon as possible so that we can move in the right direction with all the members. We don't want to just put the members who are approving the budget.
Okay, good morning and thank you for still being with us on Parliament Television and Radio. We have been coming live from Taj Pomozi Hotel, where a one-day training workshop was earlier officially opened by Government Chief Whip, Honorable Stafford Mulusa, and we've also had 1 presentation so far by Mr. Charles Hambote, who is the Director, Rules and Procedural Matters at the National Assembly of Zambia. And earlier on in his opening remarks, Honorable Mulusa did highlight the importance of this training for members of parliament in the sector budget analysis, being a new concept for the National Assembly of Zambia. He did state that earlier on when it was rolled out in 2022, the sector budget analysis was undertaken by 2 committees, and thereafter in 2023 it was taken by 5 committees, and this year 2024, the 2025 national budget will be covered by all the parliamentary committees. And so keep listening to Parliament Radio and keep watching Parliament Television. Good morning.
So another part of the Jewish history of this town is in fact the Pioneer Tower behind me. That was funded by the Sussman brothers. They were amongst the first Jewish people to come to this country back in the 1890s. And once Livingstone town was built in 1905, they were amongst the first inhabitants. And 50 years later, as part of the celebration of their lives in this country, they funded the building of the clock tower. And of course it has a wonderful view over the falls, which we can see in front of us here, all the way down there. So it's part of the celebration, and 100 years later the Sussman brothers came back, and the Lutunga came from Barotseland to come and meet them. That is the prominence that this particular family had in this country, and of course in South Africa, because they left here, Livingstone, to go to South Africa, where they set up in South Africa the company called Woolworths. So to this day the Jewish people have a strong influence not only in this country but in the sub-region. This is Nicky Iljon's shop. The Iljon family, of which there were various members of it, were one of the first inhabitants of the new town of Livingstone, and this shop became one for selling bicycles and model aeroplanes. Now Nicky Iljon himself was the one who sadly closed down the synagogue when the last child had gone through there back in 1972. They then left here to go abroad after that. But behind me you can see there's a shop with pharmacy written on it. This used to be Sossi's Garage. This was a man called Harry Sossen who married into the Sussman family, and he had the leadership of the Chevrolets back in the Northern Rhodesian days. And also, I'm pointing out over here, this tree is exactly where King George VI of Great Britain stood in 1947 in his visit to this country. Behind me is the Capitol Theatre, which today is the oldest cinema and theatre left in Zambia. and it was owned originally by the Grill family. And a young man married into their family, and his name was Harry Sossin, who we've talked about earlier. And this is where famous people in the world like Alfred Hitchcock and Danny Kaye came through to see films here. It was built in 1931, and beyond it is the yellow building, Stanley House, which is where they sold the finery to the local girls. That was dresses and all the rest of it as well. And then further down the road is a very famous intersection. This was the main intersection in town, and everybody in town knew it as Fix, Flax and Orfox Corner, after the three traders who were there. There was Sam Fix, who ran a wonderful dressmaking company. Old man Flax ran the haberdashery, like a hardware store, and beyond it was the Orfox family, and they traded in everything else. And the humor at the time was that these three business folk made all their money during the day and ran it across the bank, which is on the fourth corner. And if you look down the end, there's actually a lovely white building over there, which used to be Barclays before it moved across the road. The three shops behind me were owned by a gentleman called Elias Kapelowitz. Elias came from Latvia just before the First World War and traded with the local people further upstream. He used to paddle with his workers 40 miles upstream to exchange goods like beeswax and honey and things like that. And he then left here just after the First World War to go back to get a wife from Latvia, and they came through. Her name was Henny, and they ran the first completely kosher household in town. And they were very influential in here. They had an open house policy, and many Jewish people came through here. But their importance was recognized later on in life when they had both died, is their family received a letter of condolence from Buckingham Palace because of all the wonderful work they'd been doing for the communities, not just the Jewish communities, out here in the then northern Rhodesia. And I think that's a great rubber stamping of the kinds of people we had coming over here in the early years. When the town of Livingstone was built in 1905, provision was actually made for a synagogue to be built, and originally the site was where the St Andrew's Anglican Church is today. But eventually in 1928 this site was taken over and the first synagogue in this country was built. The stone was unveiled by Eli Sussman, who later on left to go down to South Africa. But this is where they had a hall where they could all get together on the Sabbath and speak Hebrew and pass on all their traditions. The middle building was where the rabbi lived, and of course this here was the synagogue. Here we are at the Jewish cemetery, a place of great sanctity for the Jewish people. The first grave in Livingstone town back in 1905 was in fact grave number 1 at the far end, Mr. Gelman, Abraham Gelman. This particular cemetery is now closed as the last Jewish person left the town. It was then closed up. But our traveling rabbi, Moshe Silverhaupt, came through, and with his work and guidance we've been able to get it to this wonderful level where people come through and visit the graves. It's custom in the Jewish tradition to put a stone on the grave as you go past. It's like saying, I've been here and I've left a message. And you can see the wonderful plaque we've had installed here, which just gives you an outline of the Jewish involvement in the area. We're now at what became the heart of the Sussman Empire. That is the Mulabezi railway line. They were trading in cattle and in timber by this stage. And so what we have here is a 2-in-1. This is the first railway museum in the country and the first Jewish museum in one.
The Jewish Museum opened its doors to the general public in September 2013, just to narrate the history of the Jews, those who settled in Zambia. They came a long time ago, in the early 1920s, most of them. They came through Zimbabwe from Victoria Falls. By 1905, coming up with the opening of the railway line, which gave them an opportunity to start trading along the railway line up to Congo. So some of them from Livingstone, they went to settle in Lusaka and Kabwe in the Copper Belt. Lusaka and Kabwe, then in the Copper Belt up to Congo here. So these are the areas where the Jewish community were able to settle. While in the Bufa Belt, there were already mushrooming industries that were able to give them business, like the opening of the mines there. They were also trying to bring some Mutti industries along the line of rail, which gave them business. Now the coming up of settling this museum here is just to appreciate their contributions in terms of the local, their contributions to the local community, their contributions in terms of economic, social and political. So the history covers the entire Zambia. Otherwise it opened its doors in 2013 in September. So as we enter inside the Jewish Museum, we will be able to follow their chronological history. This was the first Jewish wedding which was conducted here in Livingstone by the Anne family and the Harris Asmans in 1910. The first Jewish wedding in northern Rhodesia by Benny. Yes, otherwise all these activities, they are narrating the history of Livingstone for the Jews that were settling here. You can see these were one of the early shops which was for the Green General outfitters in Livingstone around 1910. You can even see. Unfortunately, these buildings are no longer in existence, but as for this one and that capital theatre, this one, when you go right to the center of Livingstone town, you are able to see the building. So it shows, it's just narrating the history of Livingstone. What did they come to do? For how long? That's the history of the Livingstonians.
Tambiangula wa mulwa kawa musawa tamba kufama ya mbuta sikutambaroka na singwa kumutondo na sile ngwandati mwambele nyachi wambele ngombe munuka sawa mwambeli na vanaka kwa nganyina mumule ya mukati wa kukwala kwa katweze kumwambela tineki mwiye twende tali ambayi na ngumela ndo iyo wayo wawesanela ndwa mbungwanye tena lichilera manyerere aruina lichilera omukungatanga ndwa maya Kwilu yotangeta nyomusila kwala nga mungambayi mwana mukamba noyenyi tokunyendera twilu nyendera mukungumba sita mwana lyambayi wakuti mwana bali mwana mukowe wese kumwala kumiona mbo umufere tinyeje inyunyumani veulu itako utete tokuwa uloko kwaona lyondo vilo na sile mandumba iwa nitundu vile njini ngasino mene timeka munu wilu kisiwa na mbonwa na vanaka kwa ngaita ena nyina kumuva kutongoka kumuyume na kutongoka wilu munu anungu mwero mukukandela Kwiye twende kakwisesi kanambwera konji ngoma na rumino boyi wakulitili ngoma watifulana tinaende mwenduko mukulo ipuwa kutombwela tineki tankwe
abasuteremu sema kepesi wanabantu na wamikubwa wanawaye kusuma kepesi yao lazima kiama nje mwazu sekwa kioho mwazu na kepesi kama kepesi mwazu sekwa kioho. Please, all the men putting on red dresses. movement, fast pace. Quickly getting away from the hippo. That's what it would look like. We have the rest of boys coming in. Very good scouting from the orange crew. So we have the red crew doing the hippo burst and the green crew moving quite fast. Obviously the boats are being controlled by Tim, with the flag lining the blazer and the safety dog in the middle. His cook is the founder of Georgian Safety, and the Cook family is a very strong rowing family with Zambian roots. With emergency stop and turn into elephants. Requires a lot of skill. Okay, still no change in it, we still have South Africa in the lead, Oxford coming second, Cambridge lagging behind in third, which South Africa is going to take the Victor Wadurum Cup this year round.
South Africa coming strong, Peter. South Africa coming strongly. South Africa coming strongly.
Here comes South Africa in very, very strongly, sponsored by David Livingstone, Livingstone Safari, Livingstone's Adventure. And coming up to the final, it's going to be an easy win here. Easy win for South Africa came in dominating that lead for one thing, because Mr. Drink will never really get away with it. Anyway, that's outstanding. Well played the Zambian team. Outstanding.
Zambia!
The first thing to realize is that history repeats itself all the time. And what happened in 1910, the authorities back then brought the World Championships of rowing to this town. And it was a marketing coup, because you can only host World Cup events in peaceful countries. Okay, and the movement of investors into this country back then in 1910 was enormous. So, if we do it again, we should see it all happen, because these guys will leave here praising South Africa. It's been very peaceful whilst they've been here, naturally, because that's what they like. Very wonderful people, they're always happy and except with open arms. And we had an amazing traditional event yesterday, and His Majesty here. Now, if people go to London to watch the changing of imagine coming to see a wonderful barge over here on the river. Our problem is that Zambia is big. It's 4 times bigger than England. It's twice the size of Zimbabwe. So a lot of our events are so far people to them. So the highest bridge in the world from 1905. There's wonderful other assets to it. And we can bring a little bit of traditional Zambia here too. Then my job is easy.
Come on, guys, give it more power. 1, 2, 3.
So as the ABSA Group, which is the parent company of Barclays Bank Zambia, we are delighted as ABSA promises to bring in the Zambian market. And this is a partnership in terms of how we Zambian economy for the tourism sector, because we believe that tourism is the future of Zambia. And with ABSA coming into Zambia, you can look forward to more partnerships, because we are building on the rich heritage, the 100-year heritage that Barclays has set for us in Zambia. We understand the Zambian market, and with ABSA, and with the sponsorship of Yusin, greater things lie ahead. And so Zambia can look forward to great things with ABSA.
I'm Joseph Stali, the Vice Chairman of the Mukunikirio Market. As artists, we're always ready, and we know when we exhibit our products, of course, it will benefit us in one way or another. There is a target, especially to us artists, because people, they come from different parts of the country and also of the world. So depend of which country somebody comes from, and also we know what they need.
My name's Kaputo Kafuala. I'm the secretary for this market, and a lot of people come at the falls, and what they normally do, they just come to the falls, then they go without supporting us as stereo traders. The main challenge is that they are not given enough time for them to have time to shop. I think that's the only challenge that we face as stereo traders.
can now advertise on Parliament Television and Parliament Radio. For more information, call 0977 854102 or 0977 536487. Parliament Television, bringing Parliament closer to you.
She's doing her work very well. She's able to preside very well. She's a very strong person.
She's a team player and also a humility. The ability to be able to interact with the lowest team structure member.
For me, she has performed exceptionally well, especially in strengthening the oversight function that Parliament should have.
What is very interesting is that she has not gone in there and just done what the previous speakers have done. What she has done is she's gone in there, and I see she has introduced new things that were not before.
Fondly referred to as the People's Speaker, with a relentless drive and unwavering determination, the Right Honourable Speaker Madam Nelly Mutti MP has shattered glass ceilings and blazed trails in the country's legislature. As the first female Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, she has not only presided over business in the House, but has also transformed the landscape of parliamentary business through her groundbreaking innovations. Honourable Mutti's brilliance extends beyond the chamber. She's a tireless advocate for women's rights. Her journey from humble beginnings to becoming a celebrated figure in the male-dominated field exemplifies her resilience and commitment to contribute to democracy and equality. Speaker Mutti MP is a living testament to the extraordinary heights that a powerful woman can reach when armed with vision, expertise and boundless dedication.
Stepping up in this chair, I mean, there are bigger shoes that have walked through in and out of this office. So when I came in, I'm a small person. I can fit in those shoes if I can fit. If they are too big, I can put a tissue ahead in front there, so that at least the shoe cannot slip off as I walk. And if the shoe becomes tight, I can loosen a bit, take the feet out and have a breather. If the leather is not good, I can even opt to wear plastic shoes so that I'll be able to discharge my functions. So for me, every challenge, I take it as a stepping stone. Fall down, wake up and continue walking. All we can do is strive to inspire each other, to hold each other by the hand, and where we fall, we wake up and encourage each other, because the world is not made of individualism. It's a collective world. We have to work together. We have to uplift each other. That way we will achieve more.
Soon after being elected Speaker of the National Assembly on 3rd September 2021, the Honourable Mutti MP hit the road running by guiding and running the affairs of the National Assembly of Zambia.
Honourable members, it is both a tremendous challenge and a great honor for me to be entrusted with the task of being the guardian of the rights and privileges of everyone in this House. It is therefore with great humility that I submit myself to the will of the House.
Coming from a legal background, it wasn't long before she settled in her new position as the head of the legislature.
Honorable members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
Her ascendance to the office of Speaker became a vantage point in advancing the aspirations and interests of women in Zambia.
When we started as women, the talk was that women's place is in the kitchen. And when there was a preference between choosing who to educate, a woman or a man, the choice usually the parents chose to educate their boy children. But now I think the status or the circumstances has changed, and in any case we have even more women now in terms of population, 51% of women in Zambia compared to 49%. So I think as women we have done a good job. And this has not come up because we are women, but because we've had support from our male counterparts. Gender, as it means women and men working together for common good.
Being Speaker of the National Assembly calls for impartiality and being able to accommodate divergent views. In the last 2 years that she has occupied the office of the Speaker of the National Assembly, she has made several rulings in the House in which she has ruled sitting meetings out of order and reprimanded accordingly.
As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no.